Hi guys, welcome back to the Fifth House Frequency podcast. I'm your host, Haley. So excited you guys are back for another week. I think this is week 4. I'm having a ton of fun with this podcast, and thank you guys so much for being here. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. If you follow me on Instagram or on social media, you will see that Brad and I are expecting our second baby. We're so excited. I'm almost halfway in my pregnancy. I kept it real quiet this time. I was so sick my first trimester this time, so really had no energy to talk about it or share or anything like that. But we're so excited. Miller is going to be a big brother. He's going to be the best. We are full on going to be doing 2 under 2, but I'm excited about it. He'll be 18 months when the new baby is here. So yeah, we're super excited. That has been going on behind the scenes for a while, so it feels good just to share it and have it out in the open. I'm starting to show, so I figured it was time to just get it out there and live life. So that is my little life update for you guys. I'm recording this actually on the day of the Libra new moon, and Libra is in my 5th house, so it feels very aligned to be creatively expressing myself. It feels good to be recording today. If you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you definitely should, because for every new and full moon, I post a little affirmation and ritual for each of the signs to do. So it's based on your rising sign, and that helps me know what house the new moon is in for you, where that's transiting through your life. And it helps me give really, really personalized recommendations for you guys. So it's Thursday today as this comes out. It'll still be relevant. The new moon energy and full moon energies stay around for a few days after because it's just so powerful. So on Thursday, definitely it will be applicable to do the ritual for your rising sign. So you can see all that good stuff, find out when I drop new meditations, new YouTube videos. I haven't vlogged in a minute, but I do vlog. We have quite a little community here on YouTube. So grateful for you guys. I also think when this comes out, it will officially be Scorpio season, which is my time to shine. I'm a Scorpio. It is my season. Of course, in my opinion, Scorpio season is the best season. It's like peak fall. The leaves are fully changing. It's just good energy. Halloween is during this time, and it's right before Thanksgiving. So it's just a good time. Scorpio season is so much fun. Big transformative energy you can take advantage of there. Scorpio is all about death, rebirth, intensity. So I love Scorpio season. So happy Scorpio season. I'm pretty sure this will come out that day, or it'll be very soon after. I feel like I've chit-chatted enough. We can go ahead and get into today's episode. And I really feel like lately I've gotten down my morning rituals to where I just feel so good starting each day. And I really wanted to share what those were with you guys and help you build a morning ritual that just feels really good to you, so you can take that time every day to just kind of ground yourself and your own energy before you are dealing with your kids, work, family, just anything else in the world that you have to deal with. We just want that time to ourselves in the morning so we can just get ready for the day, have some peace. So I'm going to share with you guys how I do that today and how you guys can too. Now, I don't like the word routine. I don't like a morning routine. It just sounds super mundane and repetitive. Ritual is like a way to infuse intention and just magic into your morning, just romanticize it. So we are doing morning rituals. Now, before we get started, I want to say these don't have to be perfect. There are many days, probably most days, where my little ritual gets interrupted. I have a 1-year-old and he has been not sleeping through the night. I don't know what little phase we're in. We're teething. So it's just hard to know what is going to come that day. But there are some days where he wakes up right as I'm just starting. So I have to kind of deal with that, roll with it. Maybe I do this at nap time, or maybe I just do one thing. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about setting the intention to set time aside for yourself, to just ground yourself in your own energy. And I find the days that I don't do this and I just like wake up to him crying and I get out of bed and I just start moving, I feel almost resentful because I didn't have that time for myself. So by taking this time for myself, I'm actually being selfless and I'm actually able to show up better for him, for whoever I'm working with that day, for my husband. So it's just so important. It is key. Okay. I am not as nice of a person before I do my little list here. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So I will warn you guys, like I said, I have a 1-year-old. I do have to wake up really early if I want to get these things done before my son wakes up. He usually wakes up around 7. If we're like on our normal schedule, sometimes he'll wake up at 6 and I've only done half the things I want to do. So like I said, I'll just save the other half for nap, or I just won't do them that day. So I wake up about 5 a.m. if I want to do my full list, my full morning ritual. So 5 a.m., my Hatch alarm clock goes off. I highly recommend investing in a Hatch if you do not have one. There is nothing more infuriating, and tell my husband this, guys, because I have the Hatch. It can go off multiple times a morning, but he still uses his phone alarm. And there is nothing more infuriating to me than the sound of a phone alarm. It is just not the vibe. It is not the way I want to wake up. And it puts me in such a bad mood. So, Brad, start setting the Hatch. He is such a hard sleeper, though. Like, he almost needs to be aggravated or he just will not wake up. So I get it. He has a job he has to get to. But anyway, I highly recommend investing in the Hatch alarm clock. And I usually get up before him, so I'm already awake, at least when his heinous alarm goes off, and I can have my headphones in. So my Hatch goes off at 5. Sometimes I'll do the sunrise alarm, but I meditate first thing, and I like to still be in a sleepy state when I meditate. So that is the first thing on my list, is I meditate. I usually do one of my own meditations, or I do a Joe Dispenza meditation, one that I have found on YouTube that I've just saved. And that one is like 20 minutes long. The ones that I make myself are usually under 10 minutes or around 10 minutes. So I usually do mine just because I don't really want to use the bulk of my time just meditating. Sometimes I do, definitely sometimes. And if I wake up before 5, I'll do a longer one. But his are like 20 to 30 minutes long. I think the shortest one of his is 20 minutes. So it's a little bit more of a time commitment, but definitely the first thing I do is meditate. And why it's so great to meditate when you first wake up, before light gets into your eyes, anything like that, is because your brain waves are just primed to kind of enter the quantum field and be able to manifest the day that you want to have. So I don't always do manifesting meditations, but if I do like a gratitude meditation, I can really, really get into that state very heavily because my brain isn't awake yet. It's in that perfect sweet spot. I think it's called theta brainwaves. So that's the key there. And I have the meditation. So when I go to bed at night, I pull up the meditation on my phone, put my phone all the way down on brightness, and turn on sleep mode. So when I open my phone, it's already right there. I put my headphones in and then I do my meditation. So after I meditate, if I'm going to work out that day, because I don't work out every single day, especially being pregnant, I've had horrible sciatic nerve and I get headaches. So I don't push myself if I'm not feeling it. But if I am going to work out that day, I go ahead and I put on my workout clothes immediately. So I'm just already out of my pajamas, out of my sweats, and the tone is set that I am going to work out. So that's the next thing I do. And then what I do is I go and make my coffee, and I have a little magical coffee ritual that I do every single morning. It's just amazing. I've done this for years and years and years. Do it every morning, and I'm going to tell you guys how to do it. What you're going to do is get your coffee cup. I make an iced coffee usually, but you can do it with hot coffee, whatever. You can do it with tea, any morning beverage that you guys make, you can do it. So I get my coffee, fill it with ice, and then I take cinnamon. And cinnamon is such a great tool for abundance, prosperity. Those are the properties that is associated with cinnamon. That's why we do cinnamon rituals on the first of the month, to call in abundance into our life. So I like to call in abundance through my coffee every morning because I am consuming it. So I'm just consuming that energy. So I sprinkle cinnamon on top of the ice and I say, thank you so much for abundance and prosperity, out loud. Then I take the coffee. The properties of coffee are like energy, motivation, positivity. So as I'm pouring the coffee, I out loud say, thank you so much for motivation, energy, positivity. And then I use the most delicious oat milk brown sugar creamer. And oat milk is really, to me, like calming energy, grounding, peaceful. So then as I'm pouring the oat milk creamer, and I say, thank you so much for grounding and peace. So then I will take my little glass straw and I stir it clockwise 3 times. I say I invite positivity. Then I stir it counterclockwise 3 times. Say I banish negativity. And then I tap the glass 3 times. You know, guys, I love sound frequencies. Sound is cleansing, and coffee is made of water. Not to get on a whole tangent, but water absorbs frequency. So I like to do my little ting, ting, ting clink, and I say, and so it is. Sometimes I will say like an affirmation over my coffee. I'll tell you my favorite one to say. I got it from Boho Beautiful, and it is, today is a beautiful day of opportunity. I am exactly where I need to be. I open myself to the universe and trust in the unfolding of my life. And if I do say one into my coffee, I say that one. It just hits every time. I get goosebumps when I say it. And then I take a sip of the coffee as I breathe it in, almost like a hit. It's just delicious. And I just kind of feel like it flow through me and feel gratitude for my coffee. And I do that every morning. And sometimes that is the only thing I get around to, the only thing I have time for. If my son wakes up super early and I have to run and get him, if he's crying, once I get him calmed down or fed or whatever, then I will go do that coffee ritual. Sometimes he'll be sitting there in his high chair. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to get that intention into my day that I am going to have a good day. I invite these positive vibes into my day, and it just makes such a difference. I used to have these little drops that I would put into my coffee that I got at a store called House Witch in Salem, Massachusetts. They have these things called gem essences, and it's like you can put moldavite into your coffee or pyrite, rose quartz, whatever. So if I wanted to put a little extra zhuzh into my coffee, I would put like moldavite drops into my coffee, or I used to have the pyrite ones, and that was fun too. It's like infusing your coffee with like a crystal. So that is my little coffee ritual. After I make my coffee, I will grab it and I will go ahead and journal. And I don't journal for very long. It's different every day. Sometimes it's a gratitude list. Sometimes it's just whatever is on my mind. But I definitely do journal every single day. It's usually a gratitude list. And then once I journal, I let myself get on my phone because I love to be on my phone. Okay. I love Pinterest. I get on Pinterest for 5 to 10 minutes and I just like soak it in, scroll on Pinterest as I enjoy my coffee. And that's just my little treat to myself for meditating and journaling every day. After I do that, if I am going to work out, I go ahead and do a workout, and I just do like YouTube Pilates workouts at home. Especially being pregnant, you can find like pregnancy safe ones. So that is my little workout in the morning. If I don't do Pilates, once Miller wakes up, I will take him on a really long walk. We do like a nature walk so we can be outside. And now that the weather is getting cooler, we really love doing that. So sometimes I'll even do both. Oh, and I forgot to say, when I'm journaling and doing my little Pinterest time, I do have an incense lit. I love incense. I especially love the lavender incense from Earthbound. I wish I didn't have to buy it from Earthbound, but I'm just so picky about incense, and theirs, the one that's their store brand, is so good. I wish I could find one I like that's from like a small little metaphysical business, but I'm just so picky about it, and that's the only one I like. So until then, that's the one I buy. And then while I am journaling and on Pinterest, I do listen to frequency music. I forgot to say that too. So I have a playlist on Spotify of all the Solfeggio healing frequencies, and I let that play. That is literally like my Spotify Wrapped every year is the healing frequencies, because I listen to them so often, literally every single morning. Any minor inconvenience, I turn those on. I turn them on when I'm cleaning my house, anything. So I forgot to mention those little details. I do listen to that, and I do listen to those frequencies while I make my coffee also. And by the way, guys, I do let myself lay in my bed when I do the journaling and meditating and on Pinterest. Until I work out, I am laying in my bed, by the way. So I'm not like up and at 'em sitting at my kitchen table. Like, I like to be comfortable. I like to lay in my bed. So after I work out, hi, my son's awake, by the way. So if you see a little head down here, you woke up early from your nap. So I just got to do what I got to do. I got to finish my little episode. Like I said, guys, your routine can get thrown off sometimes, and that just is what it is. Peace is not control. We have to learn how to be peaceful with whatever is thrown at us. So we just have to keep on moving. We have to keep on trucking, don't we, kid? So anyway, by then, if he's not awake already, it's a miracle, and I'll work on fun work until he wakes up. So that's like planning podcast episodes, making fun videos for my socials. I don't do like emails or correspond with anyone because I'm just trying to have fun until he wakes up. I'm trying to keep the energy good. So that is what I do until he wakes up. So that pretty much sums up my morning rituals. I've just come to look forward to my mornings so much, and it just makes me be able to show up for Miller so much better and show up in my work so much better. So please, if you don't do all of these things, do one of them. Take time for you, even if it's just the coffee or tea ritual. That is so powerful in itself, just setting really good intentions for the day. So really quickly before Miller and I get back to playing, I am going to go over what I would not do in the morning because I'm very passionate about what not to do as well. So the number one thing I would not do upon first waking up is just not take time for myself at all. Like I said, you cannot show up as the version of yourself you want to be if you don't take a minute to ground yourself in your own energy and prepare properly for your day. So that's number one. Number two, I would never get on my phone and scroll social media first thing in the morning. You are just filling your brain with other people's lives immediately and just absorbing their energy right when you wake up, and that is just not healthy. It's not good for you. We need time to be in our own energy so we don't absorb other things. So along with not absorbing other people's energy first thing, I would never ever watch the news first thing in the morning. I would never watch the news, period, because it is just so unnecessary. That might be a hot take. My grandparents are like obsessed with the news. I know the older generations love the news because it's like comforting to them. They grew up with it. But there is nothing we need to know on the news besides the weather, and you don't need to watch the news to get the weather. You can look at your phone. You can look at your phone. There is absolutely no need for the news anymore. They tell us nothing of value. It's all fear, violence, negativity. It is nothing positive. So I don't even like the news to be ever on in my house. It never is. Brad is someone who doesn't get affected by the news. So we have an agreement. If he wants to know what's going on, he can get it from his phone, but we don't play the news around here. Just a side tangent about the news. I think it's so inappropriate to have on around children because it literally is just all violence and negativity and scary stuff. That used to give me so much anxiety as a kid when the news would be on. So stop watching the news. Nothing good can come of it. And finally, the last thing I would never do in the morning, first thing, is start responding to texts immediately or emails or corresponding with anyone. My phone is on Do Not Disturb until all of my morning ritual is done and finished. I don't want anyone interrupting me. My phone just stays on Do Not Disturb until I'm done with all the stuff that I need to get done. So those are the things I would not do. If you're on YouTube, you can see that Miller would like to play and have my attention now. So I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you guys so much for listening or watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you leave me a 5-star review if you enjoyed what you heard today, or leave me a comment on YouTube. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know what you guys want to hear from me next. I have some stuff planned, but I'd love to know if you have any requests or specific topics that you would like some clarity on. I'm happy to do some request episodes. And don't forget, I want to get your guys' paranormal experiences, so DM those to me if you have any. My podcast Instagram is at Fifth House Frequency. My personal is at Haley Callan, along with TikTok. We are on TikTok as well. So make sure you get those to me. I'm going to do the Halloween episode. I think it's going to be next week. So I'm so excited. Need your stories. So if you've ever had a paranormal experience, please let me know what it is. It'll be anonymous. I won't say anyone's name, so don't be afraid of that. And I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the Fifth House Frequency. See you on Thursday.